Alrighty, so this afternoon I'm going to tell you what God allows. Alright, it was a beautiful school morning. Ooh, although it was still school, didn't really like it. It was still a beautiful school morning. I had received 2 100s on the test that I'd taken the day before. Me and my friend went to lunch. Me and a guy were talking. Although I didn't want to be at school, it was still an overall great day for me. Or so it was in the beginning. I had a best friend at the time, or somebody that I would call my best friend. She wasn't anything I thought she was. But I didn't know that at this time. So I'll take you back to where we were. I had just left school. Had a great day, remember? Although it was school, friends, great. I just left. I was on my way to her house, my best friend Shelby's house. Everything was actually normal. I went over there, we watched The Walking Dead, we took a nap, we woke up, and we went and got personal hand pizzas from Pizza Hut. That is exactly what me and Shelby did at all times. So it wasn't anything new to me. I was gonna spend the night. She was my best friend, she was my person. She was everything that I counted on. Unfortunately, that all stopped that night. A tragic night that started out with a girls' night with somebody I thought they loved me. Instead, I woke up to a dark gray surrounding. It was a tight surrounding. I was confused. But boy, after a few moments did I realize where I was. And I only say it like that because I try to be ironic with the fact of the placement that I was put in. But it was the back of my own vehicle. I was put into the back of my own vehicle by my best friend and sent off with guys that she met the weekend before. Okay, you're wondering, okay, well, how'd you go from Pizza Hut to a trunk? Okay, there was a little bit of alcohol involved, but I wouldn't worry about that portion of it, so we're just gonna keep going. So I was pretty drunk. I got placed in the back of my own vehicle. It was dark, tight. Half the time I wasn't even conscious. I just remember waking up. But the fact that I know that I started my car ride at Pizza Hut in Lenore, North Carolina, and somehow ended up in Hudson, North Carolina, I just didn't understand the whole fact that at this point, who knew me well enough to drive my car from Lenore to Hudson? Now at this point, remember, I was so drunk, I don't even remember I remember Shelby putting me in the car, but as soon as I was gone, lights out. I don't remember a thing until I got to the house. At the house that I arrived at was a basketball camp house. Boys from all around the world came, and they all lived there. So many of them lived there. They had no supervision. The coach lived in a house down the road, a little bit down the road. No supervision. Teenage boys that played basketball in Caldwell County, I kind of knew what was coming for me, but I didn't. I didn't want to think. I didn't want to think that the unthinkable had come true. That the unthinkable came true to me. I didn't want to think about it. But I didn't have to think about it. Because I was living it. Boy, was I living it. To make a long story short so that I can get to my point about God and what He does allow. My name is Brooke Chester, and I was raped by 28 males. It was a rough night, and boy, was it a rough go afterwards. I took a month off school. I quit my job, and I feel sorry for myself. I felt sorry for myself when I said that I wouldn't. I gave up when I said I never would. I let it all go. I even let my mind go. I don't even know where it went. I didn't care where it went. All I knew is that God allowed me to get wrecked. And at the time being, the only thing that went through my head was, God allowed this. Who lets somebody go through that? But it was quickly after that my mind changed a little bit. I actually have a tattoo that says everything happens for a reason. And I got it on May 25th. It was my 18th birthday. It was exactly 3 months since the incident. And I was getting there. It was taking a little while because I wouldn't accept help. I wanted to do it by myself. And I did do it by myself. So don't think that I wanted to do it by myself, but I couldn't. Oh, I did. I did. I got here today because of the situation that I briefly described to you. I am a strong, independent woman who has so many ambitions and so many dreams ahead of her because of this one incident that happened to her. I mean, of course, it's in my blood to always strive to do your best, always do whatever you can, whenever you can. And I've always done it, but something clicked, and it clicked hard. So I'm here. I pay for my college, I pay for my gas, I bought my car, I buy my food every day, I have 2 jobs, I take 18 credit hours, I'm a nursing major. Although I sound like I'm kind of, what's the word for it, not downing the fact of how hard I work, but just showing you that after everything I've been through in my lifetime, I can still come out on top. Anybody can come out on top. But back to God. God allowed this to happen to me. He did. But what people and myself have failed to realize when they go and blame it on God because He allowed it, is God may have allowed it, but I also allowed the devil into my life in order for it to happen. The devil made it happen. God allowed it to happen. But why? We may ask ourselves, why would God allow something terrible to happen to somebody? You ask that. But I can give you an answer to it. As a personal victim of what God has allowed and not allowed through someone's life, I can tell you. I can tell you because my name is Brooke Chester and I was raped by 28 males once again. I can tell you because I made it. I hit rock bottom, but I climbed all the way back to the top. And I'm here. So God allows it. Because before, what was I doing? I was drinking. I was staying out. I wasn't going down the correct path. Or at least not the path that God wanted me to go down. And all I can do is thank Him for that. Thank Him for stopping me in my tracks before I wrapped myself around a tree and I wasn't able to breathe. Or I wasn't able to walk. I know some may say that being raped is worse than maybe a car wreck. And it may be. I've never been in a car wreck. And one thing I cannot stand is when somebody says that they can understand something that they clearly cannot because they've never been through it. So I won't say that I will. Or I won't say that I do understand, because I do not. But I do understand what it's like to be in my situation. I understand what it's like to cry out for help when you feel like nobody's there. To scream at God when you want to ask Him, why me? I know I wasn't exactly on the correct path, but there are people so far worse off than me. But you chose me. I was so mad for a long time. But I can't be anymore. There's no reason to be mad. Because if you compare where I was then to where I am now, I'm 10 times the person I ever thought about being. That situation not only made me a better person, but it made me stronger. I can handle situations. I can deal with situations. I can become the leader in the situations because God allowed that to happen to me. God didn't make it happen. He just allowed it to happen. And because God allowed it to happen, doesn't mean that it was His plan. God had a plan for afterwards. God allowed me to be raped, but He did not allow me to fail. What He did was put me back on my feet and show me where He wanted me to go. And I hope that, as the personal victim of the situation, I do believe that, wholeheartedly believe that. But I also hope that being able to hear my story and see my then and now, that's what you'll believe as well. Thank you.